Flanders, how are you feeling ahead of this game? Is this going to end up proving to be the most difficult challenge of the season? Bearing in mind the hard-fought game that we had down at the Hawthorns as well. That was a difficult game. We conceded, of course, in something like 456th minute of the game. So what are you expecting from Saturday? Talk me through it.
Ordinarily, yeah, I'd say this is probably the toughest test that we've had. But the thing is, we've recently had a lot of very tough tests and passed them mostly with flying colours. Borough came here, or came to the turf, 4 out of 5?
Yep.
Absolutely flying. Did nothing. Coventry played well for 45 minutes. Clarets came out on top. We were going to QPR. We, played that lot down the road or when they were flying. All this kind of stuff. So even though they are doing really well, I am quietly confident. Corberan's done a really good job since he came in, since they got rid of Steve Bruce. But I've looked at their team and I'm kind of like, not sure there's anyone there that's terrifying me. I did see the name Eric Peters, but I'm not sure he's going to actually play. But there's no one there I'm kind of like massively scared of. The guy up front, DK, he's on a good run of form. He's a big lad, but I'm kind of happy that Taylor's there to deal with him. But I think it's going to be a good game. In that, if you'd have said this time last year with Steve Bruce and Sean Dyche in charge of the respective teams, is Burnley versus West Brom going to be an interesting game? Even I'd have said no.
Yeah.
But under Company and Corberan, both teams want to play, both teams want to score. And I think we are in for a good game.
I think as well, Mike, it's probably important to note that Burnley side that played down at the Hawthorns has matured and progressed and got a lot grittier back then. It's not as vulnerable, is that the right word I'm thinking of, as it was back then?
I agree. I mean, one of the things that has absolutely massively impressed me about Vincent Kompany is he doesn't make the same mistake twice.
No, he doesn't.
And the team were making mistakes, but they were different mistakes at the start of the season. West Brom was a very good test, and it always is a good test. As Dave said, the team we played the most, they're always a good team, and it was a good test for a young, thrown together side at that point. Losing 1-0 at the Hawthorns, as far as I'm concerned, is never a disgrace.
No.
So I think it was a good wake-up call. I think the roles are reversed. They're flying, but we've been absolutely putting the hammer down since, October? And that's why I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be, hopefully, I think the weather's going to be decent. It's going to be a cold night, but it's not going to be like a swirly, rainy night. And I think both teams wanted to play it on the ground. It'll be interesting to see how West Brom cope with the Clarets pressure, with the smothering, with the way that we pass the ball around. And it's be interesting to see how we cope with, because Corberan, I think, is a bit of a counter-attacking coach as well. So I think we're in for a bit of a cracker, to be honest.
Good. I can't wait. I've actually genuinely, it's very nice to win and it's very nice to be dominant, but I'm also enjoying those that come and challenge us, and actually we get a really good battle there, really good. Adam, what do you do selection-wise? Obviously, we've already covered Taylor. I think we're unanimous in our view that we keep Charlie Taylor in that position rather than bring our new lad in straight away. What do you do about Jack Cork? What do you do about JBG?
I think that's exactly what you do. JBG, as soon as Cork got booked, you could feel around the ground, oh no, there it is. There's the 2-game ban. Oh dear. But Gudmundson's performance second half, like Mike alluded to earlier, everything good that we did in the second half, Benson's chance, Teller's chance, the goal, all came from JBG, linking with Zaroury and making inroads down that left-hand side and advanced 10 role. And I think Brownhill got better second half as well. So I think that's an easy decision for Kompany to make, to bring Gudmundsson in. Whether he sticks with the 2 wide men from the start, or he brings Teller in and plays slightly narrower, it'll be interesting to see. But I think it will be a really stern test on Friday, because as well as we've come up with the goods in tough games recently, so have West Brom, and I think they've won 9 out of 11. We've won 10 out of 11. They're going to be full of confidence, similar to, like Mike said, Middlesbrough and probably Swans earlier in the season. I think came on the back of 5 wins and we absolutely battered them. But I've just got a feeling this will be different. Corberan is a thinker as well, and I think it'll be a really tactical affair. They've got good depth. I think they've had players like Dean Garner and Rogic on the bench. So they've got options as well. Whereas we saw at the weekend, Coventry just got, you could tell they had nothing on the bench at the weekend, and we really did push them back further and further into the game. But yeah, it should be a really tough test, but we've got nothing to fear at the moment. Really looking forward to the game. And yeah, still confident we can come away with the 3 points. But
what a statement if we do.
Exactly. The next 2, West Brom and Norwich, if we come away with returns from both them games, then we're absolutely flying.
Yeah, definitely. Quick score prediction then, please, Adam.
2-1 Burnley.
Mike?
3-1 Burnley.
Excellent. I love it. Dave?
1-1.
Oh, for goodness sake. I'm going to stop asking you. Honestly. 3 or 4 years of the preview show, Mike. This is what I have to put up with. Young Dave.
Davy Downer.
Davy Downer. He's a Davy Downer. Honestly. I've given up with him. I've given up with him. Regular listeners of the preview show know I have this battle with him every single week. It's fine. What is going to be your Brommers bankers this week? For those of you who like to have a flutter on my useless predictions, I'm going to say it's going to be a closer game. I'm not quite as confident as Mike is. I'm going to share Adam's prediction. I'm going to say 2-1 to the Clarets. If you do want to put a bet on that, please do gamble responsibly, or better still, use a free bet, because quite frankly, listeners, we're now in the second half of the season and I've not got one right yet. So please do bear that in mind before you decide to follow what Brommers bankers will be this season. The Known and Ever podcast is brought to you in association with the TalkSport Fan Network. Natalie Bromley is the host and editor, and the show is produced by Matt Moss. Our resident statistician is Dave Roberts, and our FPL expert is Adam Dennett. The Analysis Show team is collectively Tom Whittaker, Richard Steele, George Poole, Charlotte Rigby, Adam Dennett and Robbie Kopak. Our music is provided by George Gaskill, and our newsletter team is headed up by Jamie Smith. If you don't already, you can subscribe to our newsletter by visiting nonadenever.substack.com. Our thanks as ever go to our partners TalkSport. We are as ever proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.